Now, today I have the privilege of having the esteemed Marques Roberts, and he is a motivational speaker, inspirational blogger, aspiring author, and healthcare professional. And he aims to promote, challenge, and motivate people to progress in all aspects of life by maximizing every opportunity through utilizing all accessible resources while faithfully praying and relying on God to do what only He can do after you've done all that you can do. Hi, Marques.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So, this is a Friday afternoon. What would you be doing right around 5:30 if you weren't here with us at AfroVibesRadio.com?
Either on the road or at the daycare, picking the kids up.
Oh, wow. Tell us about your family.
So I have my wife, Monica, 3 children, Jalen, 14, Jackson, 5, and Emery, 2.
Oh.
Something special. All of them give me something different that drives me. So
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
definitely a blessing.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about your journey. I want to know, take us back to your high school days. You're kind of buff, dude.
High school, well, I'm originally from Luling, Texas, and city of about 4,000 or 5,000, at least when I was growing up there was a population. I have an older brother, grew up with my mom and dad, and just grew up playing sports. Everything was centered around that, so we work out in the summer. Really, I followed my brother to the weight room every summer and watched him work out. When he left, I worked out, doing what he did. Ultimately, it earned me a scholarship to play football at Baylor University. And at Baylor, I was a team captain, and my senior year was the offensive MVP. Growing up, I was always told I should be a leader, told that I was a leader, and just trying to carry that forward. Definitely ran into some bumps, hit some valleys, fell short, and so just that part of my story, along with leaving college and trying to find my way, is what the book's about and just what my message and speaking is about as well.
So you are a motivational speaker. Give us an idea of some of your favorite topics.
So I have this saying, head down pushing, and it's something that I would use to encourage myself starting back in college, and at some point I started using it on social media to encourage friends. I would notice our circumstances, things that we were doing, so some of the things that I would say to myself, I would use social media to say to them. And just be things like the principles of head pushing are faith, focus, courage, accountability, willingness, humility, patience. And so pick any one of those, all the way from leadership, anything. I can just go in on it, but I like to stay around that core and I just talk about life, talk about our experiences, talk about shying away and not stepping up, because those are the things that I battled and still battle at times to this day. And so I like to bring it to the forefront and encourage others to do it, and I also like to model it more than saying it. Just being here, this is me, head down pushing, because being behind the mic, on the radio, it's new, it's intimidating, but hey, Marques, you got to do it so other people can believe that they can as well.
Awesome. Now I'm thinking, when I heard you said head down, pushing forward, immediately I thought about a baby in the birth canal, making up his mind that he's going to enter into this earth. And it sounds like that's a determination, tenacious kind of push that I'm gonna, no matter what stands in my way, I'm gonna push through it. So tell me about an instance in your life when you use this principle and you gain success as a result?
What I can tell you is that, like many of our listeners today, they probably have already used it too and didn't realize it. So as I grew, I had to look back and actually see humility, look back with humility and see this push happening. And I would say in college, about my sophomore year, I was told, you're not going to a game, you're suspended. I'm like, oh man. And it kind of hurt, but in that moment I realized what really hurt me was that I allowed my behavior to be the person that they said I was, instead of being the person that I was knowing that I was capable of being. And I made a decision to just keep my head down pushing. And so I went to work. I would show up early, leave late, and that went from me being suspended to me being a captain. And I think that was like my biggest accomplishment in football, because it's like your teammates saying, we trust and believe in you to be our leader. I'm really I'm proud of that one, because it's not a coach-appointed thing in college. It's your teammates actually elect you to be the team captain. So it's pretty cool just to have them, to receive that honor from them.
So I'm curious, how can a young man who has dreamed his entire life of being a pro basketball player or a pro football player implement that kind of humility in his life and gain ultimate success?
I would say ignore the noise and appreciate the opportunity. Anytime someone tells you you can't, you shouldn't, ignore them and just focus on what's in front of you. And don't see obstacles, but see opportunity. You're short, you're overweight, you're somewhere where they won't hear about you, you're too slow. Anything that they may say to you that's telling you that you can't, embrace it, embrace the challenge that is, and focus on what you've been blessed with. They can't see it, so they're placing their limits on your life. You can't live your life based on someone else's limits. And I did that up to a point, and now it's breaking through, and everything that I'm doing is because of who or how he sees me, but not how I see me, or not how the world sees me.
So, do you like to mentor youth?
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am. I do, I enjoy it. I think it's very important. There's a few out there college age, and then some, I would say they're all in college at this point. Yeah. Just kind of talk to them about decision making and next steps like internships in college and things like that. Talking to guidance counselors and financial advisors and things. Just some of the background stuff that we don't know because no one ever told us, and we don't know what questions to ask.
Oh, wow, what a gift. So you're a family man. I have to keep saying that because the ladies will be inboxing me.
Man.
So you are a family man. And how long have you been married?
It'll be 8 years this year in April. So I guess, 2011 to 2018.
Wow, wow. Ooh. So how has marriage affected you as a young man with a vision not only to write a book, but to be a leader?
I would say number one was my wife's influence. I'll say it, us young knucklehead boys, we just take long to get it together. And so it was kind of watching her attack and really go after life and say, you know what, I need to turn it up a notch. If I'm going to be with this person, I'm going to have to ask more of myself. And she would encourage me and also influence me. So that was number one, but also as the provider, as the protector, as the leader. I'm a faithful person, definitely believe. I'm just grounded in my faith, so knowing my responsibility as the father, as the husband, and growing in relationships is that they're watching me. So now children come into play, and now my actions just don't affect me or her, someone who can take care of himself. I'm responsible for that person who he has entrusted to me. So how am I going to model my life? And if I'm shying away, if I'm scared to be a presence, if I'm scared to speak up, what can I expect of my children? So that really made me say, you just got to go get it and not shy away from anyone or anything.
And so your life story itself dictates that you share it in the form of a book with the world. I see that. But where did you find the courage to actually do it?
I would say it was a friend first who gave me the courage to speak. He told me I was speaking. He was headed out for a speaking tour, and he was like, I'm coming to Houston. I was like, I know, I'm going to be there. Right? I'm coming. He's like, no, you're going to speak. I'm like, nope. He said, no, I really want you to speak. I'm like, I can't do it. And then over time, after talking, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And so I kind of said, you know what, I can't just show up to this event, to one of his events with all these people that never have spoken. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I started speaking other places to prepare, and the impact, I was like, wow. And that, along with the fact that I was already doing the posting on social media, it was kind of like, okay, as time passed on, other mentors and people that I knew that were in the industry talked to me about just the impact that a book would have. And so I started putting it in my phone, and I would say it was about almost 2000, about 4 or 5 years at this point, just notes in the phone. And after a year of that, I transferred it to typing and started doing that. And then once I felt like I had the information done, it's like, okay, what do I do to put a book together?
Wow, wow. So the book is almost here.
Yes, ma'am.
You're about to put that head down and push forward with that book. And you know what? When we come back from our break, we're going to talk more about how you are preparing yourself to market this book baby. You know, you're sitting with the literary midwife, Sharon C. Jenkins. We'll be back in a little bit. You are listening to Author Central Station on AfroVibesRadio.com worldwide. We'll be back in a sec. Back. Author Central Station with the master communicator, Sharon C. Jenkins, on AfroVibesRadio.com. And I have the very awesome Marques Roberts. He's a motivational speaker, inspirational blogger, aspiring author, and healthcare professional. And his aim in life is to make sure that you are able to put that head down and push. So we're going to talk a little bit about this pushing this book baby out of the birth canal and getting it ready to go to market. So what are some of the things that you envision yourself doing in preparation for introducing this book to your target audience?
This radio, and then I think the biggest thing speaking engagements, informing people, and I'm sorry, but bigger than that is social media. Just really using my social media platform to just inform people what's happening as we get closer, let them know what's going on, provide excerpts and things like that. And also work with you, people like you who have done this and know this industry and the different tactics and how to approach it and what's most valuable.
So you're getting your team together.
Yes, ma'am.
That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're thinking about where your book is headed before you even finish the last word.
Yes.
Before you put the end period. Okay? And then you're forming the relationships you need so that when you finish your book and it's in your hand, you can just go.
yes.
Yes.
It's trying to take off.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that I'm impressed with is that you are actually going to develop your marketing media strategy for the year now, and you don't even have a book in hand. Now, why do you think that's important?
I think it's important just to let people know what you're doing, and one of the things you mentioned, where you're headed. And so then you can take them with you and also demonstrate some of the things that you talked about. I'll let you know I'm writing, I'm telling you the book's coming, and now you see the execution. And one of the things, the guy that I follow on the line, E.T., is like a mentor. He says execution is worship. And I'm not looking to be worship, but I'm looking to definitely influence and just show people that, yes, you are capable as well. So execute, go get it done.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, writing a book is a scary thing because it's kind of like the emperor with no clothes on. You just showing up and look, you don't have no clothes on. It's all out there for the world to see. The good, the bad, the success, the failure. It's all out there. But what people don't realize is when they write a book about success, they cheat their audience out of the reality of their life experience. So what life experiences will you be sharing in the book?
I'm definitely with you on that. I think the power is in our truth. And so one of the place where I started, I would say, would be growing up and just different things, being teased, being bullied. We all received some of that, and just the perspective that it gave me. And I also talk about some of the perspective that I gained from growing up in a smaller town and not seeing that many African American people in leadership positions, and how it made me think about the world and what was accessible and how I may be limited. And then I moved from there and touch on a little bit of college as well. Well, a lot of colleges. Talk about football and my experiences of not having a clue when I got on campus. Great athlete, but there's so many technical things. And just kind of relate that back to whatever industry you may be working in. What do you need to learn, or how do you adjust when you get the position? And then I moved from there to having to go home from college just with one hope. You know, we go with the NFL on our minds, or the NBA, and when that doesn't happen, we think we're failures. And so when I went back home for me is not like a lot of people. It's good people and everything, but my closest friends, if there were 5 or 6 of us outside, 4 or 5 people was selling crack cocaine. And that was just the reality of it was. And it wasn't like, hey, I want to get with y'all. It's just like, I'm back doing me, doing us, and this is what's going on. And so at some point I had to make a decision, and when I didn't make it fast enough, my mama said, you gotta go.
Go ahead,
yeah,
mama.
Yes.
Mamas are good for something.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So I'm just sharing that part, and then transitioning to move to Houston and my struggles there, another transition, and how did I adjust, and then being able to identify myself not pushing enough and saying, okay, now it's time to step outside of my comfort zone and make things happen, because we can't make anything happen when we stay the same. If we want something different, we have to do something different. And I talk about some of my bitterness in college and then into the professional world that I experienced by repeating those behaviors and saying, you know what, I can't be mad at the world for the work I'm not doing. If I want some things to happen, I have to go do that work. And so I've done it and progressed, and I just really try to share that and then move in from there into speaking now and the book process. So just try to share that whole journey with everyone.
So who is your target audience for the book?
For the book, I would say the age range would probably be about 15, 16 to up to 45, 50-year-olds. And it's just, and I really don't want to cut anyone off, but because it's never too late, you're just not in the game. But just anyone that's struggling with getting out of their own way.
That's powerful. So, male, female?
Both.
Oh, good. What advice would you have for a single mother who has 5 kids? What advice would you have for her? And she's always wanted to be a nurse.
Always want that there is a way, and you just have to keep working and make yourself available to the information. A lot of times, because we can't see the opportunity, we decide that the opportunity is not there. So what I like to tell people is, number one, make your efforts show up first. Because when people see someone working hard, they want to push them forward. They want to see you achieve things. So, and then once you're working hard, don't be afraid to let people know what you intend to do. Like I just said, they want to help you succeed. And that starts in grade school. A lot of times we don't know answers, we shy away, we won't raise our hands, we don't want to get laughed at. But the teacher's just waiting to see who's willing. That they love the person who sits at the front, right? Everyone says sit at the front and ask questions. Do that in life. Do that with your effort at work. Do that with your attendance. Do that with your willingness to engage. And single mom, time seems like you don't have it. You get home, guess what? Everyone has to put in those extra hours. So after all the children are asleep, you have to put in 2, maybe 3 hours of just solid work. And then turn around and do it again. And when a special person, because when we participate, God orchestrates, right? So when that person that he's placed in position to help you sees your effort in your work, yeah, you know what? I really like what you did with that. Would you mind trying this? Or I would like to move you to this role. What do you think about that? Or you want to give me an $8 to $10 raise, or you want to give me a salary, whatever have you? Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you know what? As you model for your children perseverance, being tenacious, being persistent, children take note of that. They may be children with mama, but they take note of that. I can't tell you the numerous times that I've seen children celebrate their parents on the Steve Harvey show. My mama, she does. And you wouldn't even know that they were paying attention. Or the young lady who graduates at the top of her class, and she attributes it to the role model that her mother was for her. So you never ever know who's looking, and then some people may be looking and you never ever know.
What is your message? What is your message? That's it. They're being the message, and the children are receiving.
So how are you a message to your enemies?
To my enemies, I just keep going. Head down, push. That noise, it doesn't even reach me. I mean, I don't even really know my enemies. That's how hard you should be working. That's how tight your circle should be. I think that when you have people around you who like to bring you negativity, sometimes you got to watch them. So they might be the source of it, so I might have to push you out of our circle. Or I might have to see what was your purpose of letting me even know that or bringing that energy into our circle. Because you see where I'm at. You see where my focus is. You see what we're doing. What a person is saying, what a person is trying to do really has no impact on what we have going on. So you're either in the boat or you can get off.
So you're going to write this book, publish this book, sell this book, and speak all over the world. Is this book a one and done for you, or do you plan on writing more books in the future?
No, ma'am. Definitely plan on writing it. I couldn't be one and done. I actually have so many other ideas and titles and chapters laid out on other books, and it's exciting, but it's like, okay, don't be distracted. Keep that focus and execute, because you can start, and never finish, and then you've done nothing. So the focus right now is putting all the energy into this. Every time I get an idea and get pulled away, it's like, no, come back and let's get it done. So
what you're talking about is self-discipline. Give me your definition for self-discipline.
Self-discipline. I would say that when you look at self-discipline, it's just being accountable to you. So whatever your ruler, your faith is, your foundation, being accountable to your core values. If you're not supposed to be eating these things, which we all struggle with, not too disciplined in that department, all right? But so just who you are, your character, what you live your life by. When no one's watching, what type of person are you? Who are you? And how much progress are you making? What are you doing that's about what you're doing and not the show or who's watching? So I like to say, are you serving a cause, or are you living for an agenda or leading an agenda? Are you trying to do this selfishly for me, or are you serving out of discipline because that's what you've been called to do?
I think true servanthood reaps a far greater benefit than having all the money in the world. To know that you have literally helped someone else is so empowering, and it increases you. It doesn't decrease you.
Definitely, definitely. In service, the greatest thing is the reward, not the award. And it's just the fact of everything that you've done, everything that you've given of yourself. No one can pay for that. You can't put a price on selflessness. You can't put a price on truth. So the value that you give to others out of just serving, it just empowers them to a place that we really can't even explain until you just see it happen. And so everyone watching, the people who are tuned in and listening, the service of this and some of the message that goes forth into their lives, I mean, what price can you put on that? And the power of service is just tremendous. I mean, Jesus, number one servant, and hey, we were supposed to model his life, right? So.
And don't you think the world needs genuine servants now, not the mouthpieces or the mask of servanthood, but someone with a genuine heart that has some love to share with people?
Yes, definitely. And I think they're out there. A lot of us are not being promoted as much. A lot of times, true service, you're quiet, right? You're not looking to be the center of attention or be out loud and out front and be boisterous. It's just about doing the work and going the way. And the people who know true servants, they call on them. You see them around. It's not by chance. It's not by accident. It's because of the person that they are, and they're trusted. And I think more and more you see servants being called to the forefront and being acknowledged and they're being praised because of the work that they really do and what they've sown into people.
And I think that anybody has the ability and the power to do so.
Amazing. And I'm definitely with you on that. Anyone can just jump up. I like to tell my oldest, hey, don't ask about the work, just do the work. No one needs to see you, just go do, and then the rest will take care of itself.
That's wonderful. So how can our audience contact you, Marques?
If you on Facebook, Marques Roberts, that's MARQUES, Roberts, ROBERTS. Instagram, Marques C. Roberts. Twitter, Marques C. Roberts. Email, marquesroberts@gmail.com.
So I want to thank you for sharing your story with us on the way to publishing your book. I am moved beyond moved.
Wow. So thank you for having me. It's truly been a blessing. I'm just happy to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, listening audience, thank you so much for tuning in to Author Central Station with the Master Communicator and Marques Roberts today. And we are on AfroVibesRadio.com. One quick announcement. I am offering you the opportunity to become a member of a thriving marketing incubator for authors. You want more information? Just send me an email at SharonCJenkins@gmail.com. I want to thank you for tuning in, and don't forget, we are looking for bloggers for AfroVibesRadio.com's blog. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And you know what? You can write that book in 2018. Bye-bye.